Most people think they'll do well on this quiz. Most people are wrong. Let's find out where you stand. Who wrote Romeo and Juliet? William Shakespeare. While it is his most famous tragedy, the plot was actually based on an earlier Italian tale translated by Arthur Brooke. How many players are on a basketball team on the court? 5. The game was originally invented by James Naismith using peach baskets as hoops, and initially, teams had 9 players. What is a right angle? 90 degrees. It forms a perfect L shape, a square corner, and is the defining feature required for the Pythagorean theorem to work. What is the largest mammal in the world? Blue whale. These creatures are massive. A blue whale's heart is the size of a bumper car, and its tongue weighs as much as an elephant. What is the Milky Way? A galaxy. Its name is derived from its appearance as a dim, glowing band arching across the night sky, resembling spilled milk. What is the national language of Brazil? Portuguese. Brazil is the only Portuguese-speaking nation in the Americas, a result of the 1494 Treaty of Tordesillas, which divided the New World. What is a byte? 8 bits of data. A single byte can represent 256 different values, which is enough to encode a single letter of the alphabet or a small number. Which organ pumps blood through the body? Heart. This powerful muscle beats about 100,000 times a day, pumping roughly 2,000 gallons of blood through your vessels. So far, so good. What year did the Titanic sink? 1912. Despite being marketed as unsinkable, the ship went down on its maiden voyage after striking an iceberg in the North Atlantic. Which country has the largest population? India. In 2023, India officially surpassed China to become the most populous nation, with over 1.4 billion people. What does DNA stand for? Deoxyribonucleic acid. This molecule carries genetic instructions and is shaped like a twisted ladder, a structure famously known as the double helix. What is the periodic table? A chart of chemical elements. When Dmitry Mendeleev created the first version, he geniusly left gaps for elements that had not yet been discovered. What is the unit of electrical resistance? Ohm. It is named after German physicist Georg Simon Ohm and is symbolized by the Greek letter omega. What is the sum of the angles in a triangle? 180 degrees. In standard geometry, if you cut off the 3 corners of any triangle and place them side by side, they will form a straight line. What is the most abundant gas in Earth's atmosphere? Nitrogen. While oxygen is necessary for survival, nitrogen actually makes up about 78% of the air we breathe. This one is taught in school. Who discovered America in 1492? Christopher Columbus. Although credited with the discovery, he actually landed in the Bahamas and never set foot on the mainland of North America. What does URL stand for? Uniform Resource Locator. It acts as the specific address for resources on the internet, distinct from a simple domain name. What is the basic unit of life? Cell. The term was coined by Robert Hooke in 1665 because the box-like structures he saw in Cork reminded him of monks' cells. It's about to get harder. Don't skip. What is the chemical symbol for mercury? Hg. The symbol comes from the Latin word hydra argyrum, meaning liquid silver, reflecting its state at room temperature. What is the genre of The Great Gatsby? Tragedy. Written by F. Scott Fitzgerald, it serves as a critique of the American dream during the roaring jazz age of the 1920s. What is the hardest natural substance on Earth? Diamond. The name comes from the Greek word adamas, meaning unbreakable, and they form deep within the Earth under extreme heat and pressure. Which country is known as the land of 1,000 lakes? Finland. This nickname is a massive understatement. The country actually possesses roughly 188,000 lakes and about 180,000 islands. Comment if this surprised you. Who was the first president of the United States? George Washington. He remains the only president in US history to have been elected unanimously by the Electoral College twice. What is the value of pi up to 2 decimal places? 3.14. While commonly shortened, pi is an irrational number, meaning its decimal representation goes on forever without repeating a pattern. What is the largest ocean on Earth? Pacific Ocean. It covers more surface area than all of Earth's land masses combined and contains the deepest point on the planet, the Mariana Trench. What year did World War I end? 1918. The fighting officially ended with an armistice signed on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. Name a noble gas. Helium. It is the second most abundant element in the universe, yet on Earth it is so light that once released, it can escape gravity and drift into space. What is the main economic activity in rural areas? Agriculture. This practice is the foundation of civilization. The Neolithic Revolution, about 10,000 years ago, allowed humans to stop foraging and settle in one place. Most people start making mistakes here. Who was the first emperor of Rome? Augustus. Born Gaius Octavius, he was the great-nephew of Julius Caesar, and the month of August was later renamed in his honor. What does RAM stand for? Random Access Memory. It is called random access because the system can read any byte of memory directly without having to scroll through previous bytes, unlike a cassette tape. What year did the Berlin Wall fall? 1989. The fall occurred unexpectedly on the night of November 9th, following a mistaken announcement by an official that travel restrictions were lifted immediately. Most Americans get this wrong. When did the French Revolution begin? 1789. It started with the storming of the Bastille on July 14th, an event that is now celebrated annually as France's National Day. What is the smallest country in the world by area? Vatican City. Covering just 44 hectares, 110 acres, this sovereign city-state fits entirely within Rome and has a population of fewer than 1,000 people. What is the slope of a horizontal line? 0. Since the line does not rise or fall as it moves along the x-axis, the rise is 0, making the slope rise over run 0. What does congruent mean in geometry? Same shape and size. If two figures are congruent, one can be transformed into the other through turns, flips, or slides without changing its dimensions. Which ancient civilization built the pyramids in Egypt? Egyptians. Contrary to popular belief, archaeological evidence suggests the pyramids were built by paid laborers who worked in shifts, not by slaves. Name a symptom of dehydration. Dry mouth. By the time a person actually feels thirsty, their body has already lost about 1% to 2% of its total water content. What is the standard length of a marathon? 26.2 miles. The odd distance was established at the 1908 London Olympics to ensure the race started at Windsor Castle and finished exactly in front of the Royal Box. Only a few questions left. What is the sum of the interior angles of a pentagon? 540 degrees. This is calculated using the geometric formula N2, N times 180 $, where N represents the 5 sides of the shape. Which African country is known as the Rainbow Nation? South Africa. The term was coined by Archbishop Desmond Tutu to describe the country's multicultural diversity following the end of the apartheid era. Who developed the theory of relativity? Albert Einstein. Although famous for E equals mc squared, Einstein actually won the Nobel Prize in Physics for his work on the photoelectric effect, not relativity. What is the tallest mountain in the world? Mount Everest. Due to the collision of the Indian and Eurasian tectonic plates, the mountain is still growing taller by about 4 millimeters every year. Which mountain range is the longest in the world? Andes. Stretching about 7,000 kilometers along the western edge of South America, this range passes through 7 different countries. What is the largest planet in our solar system? Jupiter. It is so massive that more than 1,300 Earths could fit inside it, and it acts as a vacuum cleaner, protecting inner planets by absorbing comets. Name a famous work by Vincent van Gogh. The Starry Night. Van Gogh painted this masterpiece from the window of an asylum in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence, capturing the view just before sunrise.
Phew! How was that? Drop your score in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like and subscribe buttons if you learned something new today. Thanks for playing, and I'll see you in the next quiz.